Cape Charles Town Council Committee for a joint public hearing with the Planning Commission. Roll call, please.
Present.
Bannon present.
Brian present. Buckland is present.
Gary Forum.
I'd like to call to order the public hearing for the Planning Commission for Monday, July 18th, 2016. Roll call, please.
Boone present.
Sauer, present.
Burke present.
McCoy present.
Strand present.
Buckles present. Quorum. Go ahead, sir.
I would like to hear public comments on the application for a conditional use permit, 530 Randolph Avenue, to operate a bed and breakfast with a swimming pool. Is there any?
There's nobody to sign up, and I did not get anything in writing prior to the meeting.
Do you want to read the advertisement in the record?
The Cape Charles Town Council and Planning Commission will hold a joint public hearing on Monday, July 18th, 2016 at 6 p.m. at the Cape Charles Civic Center at 500 Tazewell Avenue to receive comment on a conditional use permit application for a bed and breakfast with swimming pool at 530 Randolph Avenue, tax map number 08383-01-00, lots 573, 576, and 577. The Planning Commission will have their regular monthly meeting to vote on the application immediately following the public hearing. Information on the conditional use permit application can be viewed in the planner's office at 2 Plum Street or obtained by phone or email.
You want to close the public hearing since there's no comment?
Comments? Any council have any comments? Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Public hearing is closed.
Any comments from the Planning Commission members? Planning Commission closes its open hearing.
We need a motion.
Yeah, good point. Do I have a motion?
I'll second.
So moved. Stand for an invocation of the please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I've already stated no public comments. Any adjustments to the agenda? A motion to approve the agenda is written.
So moved.
Any feedback on this? I'm sorry. All in favor? Any opposed? Minutes. Any feedback on the minutes? Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
A second.
All in favor? Any opposed? So moved. Thoughts?
Mr. Chairman, the only amendment I'd like to make to the report is under item 4. Obviously, the Harbor Area Review Board did not meet, didn't have a quorum last Monday night, so they met prior to this meeting. So I'd just like to amend that report to say that the board did not meet on Monday the 11th for lack of a quorum, but did meet on Monday the 18th. And I'm happy to entertain any other questions as well.
Any questions? No questions? Old business. 530 Randolph Avenue conditional use permit application for bed and breakfast with a swimming pool. Any questions, concerns, issues?
No, I think we pretty much previously covered this.
Yep, we
so,
did indeed.
Yeah. There's something new to it.
Nobody provided any comments, so.
Nothing new there.
No, and just a point of information, the applicant sent an email earlier last week. She would have intended to be here, but had family business out of town. So there's no disrespect to the commission, so they couldn't make it tonight.
Understood. Do I have a motion to accept the CUP as written?
I make a motion to accept it as written.
All in favor?
My second.
All in favor? Any opposed? So moved. Dog tethering ordinance.
Mr. Chairman, this is part of our consideration of the treatment of domestic animals in towns, and again, specifically in the residential districts. We did have brought to the Plan Commission last month the dog pen issue. The tethering is obviously an adjunct to the dog pen. You can tether an animal in a pen or outside of a pen. The current town ordinance allows for the tethering of an animal, which again is not, as it says, is not restrict this movement or endanger the animal for a period of 12 hours in a 24-hour period. That is our maximum. There's been some issue about if that is a humane treatment of a 12-hour period, 24-hour. As a contrast, we've got the information from the city of Suffolk about the dog and cat ordinance. Unlawful, it states it is unlawful to tether an animal which may or may not be attended as a class 4 punishment, misdemeanor. So this is part of that consideration of what we've currently got in the town council, in the town ordinance relative to tethering of animals. Any recommendations for text amendment? Town code was under the purview of the town council, so it was a recommendation to the town council.
So I thought where we left it was the last time on the tethering issue was that we, in the 12-hour or whatever it was, limit, we felt was unenforceable. And we were going to make a recommendation to town council to change the ordinance to no tethering. Do I remember that correctly? Is that what we're?
Right.
And that appears to be what the town of Suffolk has adopted, that you're not allowed to have an animal tethered that's unattended. Is that correct now?
This week's a perfect example of that. Can you imagine being tethered out here in 100 some odd degree heat?
I'm just wondering how long ago that went into effect and what the repercussions, if any, have been as to, I suppose it wasn't challenged, is there in any way in Suffolk that you know of?
I don't know the second part of that question.
It's made enforcement a lot easier.
No, no.
That's section 2.
Do we still have the dogs in the cage?
No, that was taken care of. I think under the word guy.
Commissioner, section 1042 shows that it was last amended June 5th, 2013 in the city of Suffolk.
Okay.
So it's been in effect
3 years.
2 years. 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
So can we do this on a partial basis? I mean, do we want to say, well, we would like to recommend to the town council to change the tethering ordinance and continue on with the zoning issues with dog pens and stuff that you had researched? How do we do this?
I think it's just,
They're
two separate things.
They're separate.
Yeah, can we keep them separate and?
One falls under zoning.
Right. The pen is a structure.
Right.
So that was all under zoning, as far as setbacks, structural conditions, the same thing that this commission went through with the chicken coops several years ago. But that would go as a text amendment to the
Existing.
Right, yeah, to the zoning ordinance, so that would
Oh,
require a
okay.
public hearing for the town council for approval. Amendments to the town code for the tethering is not, would not require a public hearing of the planning commission, correct? And
No public hearings are needed for ordinance.
So do you want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we recommend to the town council change the ordinance on tethering in the town to no tethering, 0.
I wholeheartedly second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
that will go to the town council next month.
And then the zoning thing, how would we do this again?
That's a text amendment, so that requires public hearing, one public hearing ideally, recommendation from the planning commission, action by the town council. I'll bring that forward next month to at least set a date for the planning commission's public hearing.
Okay, great.
Okay. Old business C, limited access commercial activity in open space district. You want to walk us through it?
I do. There's been a number of local businesses that are interested in having access to certain areas within the open space district. And remember, the open space district is the beach and Central Park. No one has expressed any interest in Central Park, but certain areas associated with the beach have some popular interest as far as vendors, non-motorized vendors, specifically the area adjacent to the love sign and bathrooms, and the current kiosk area where we've got some decking for the kiosk as well as the benches. Those are dune-ward east to the boardwalk. So those are the two specific areas that come up as particular areas of interest for small businesses. And again, this has been three in particular. In the spring, the folks who set up the Tiki food truck that's currently on Mason Avenue approached manager myself. We met with them about the operation of the food truck in general, but also about that issue in specific, and they were told what the current ordinance says, which is 0 commercial activity in the open space district. There's another gentleman who's interested in having his shaved ice cart, access to the beach, and then last year, a group was interested in having sort of a storage area that they would be able to provide chairs and umbrellas for people who are staying on the beach. And the way it would work is somebody makes an arrangement to have their chair set up or their umbrella set up, and this group goes out, accesses their storage area, and this would be adjacent to the pier. They walk out and find their area already set up for them. Those were 3 in the last season and going into this season. And they've all been told, as the ordinance is currently written, there is a strict prohibition on commercial activity in the open space. So what was presented is the possibility of some measure of arrangement to have a time and space and operational restriction written into the zoning ordinance to allow some measure of limited types of commercial activity in the open space district. And again, no one is soliciting Central Park, and no one is soliciting the beach. They're soliciting the areas between the pavilion and the dune, and the area of the love sign and the bathrooms.
Well, we're not Central Park, as well as the special events we have there.
You already have, depending upon the nature of the event, you already have some vendors in there, right?
Right.
It's been that, we consider special, what is that? Well, how do they do it?
Like Craig Blues.
Family blues or just
They get a permit for
Correct.
They fill out a special.
it. You get a
Special
permit
case.
through Jen.
so it's really already happening, just not on the basis.
Right.
How's that going, how would that work with cleanup afterwards, trash, that sort of thing, on a continuous basis? I mean, we give that beach away for free as it is.
Public beach, it is.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to see parking meters down
Sorry,
there.
it's
to tell you the
public
truth.
beach, but public beach.
Somebody's got to clean it up.
No, I mean, I understand that, it's just what I'm saying, it's a public beach. It's not a New Jersey public beach, but it's a public beach.
Certain things like that would have to be worked out. We don't even have the provision.
Do they have to post a bond or anything like that?
That would be one of those issues worked out. Again, we don't have,
One of the ones that I'm assuming, it might not be, it might be, but there's already one that's in the private area of Bay Creek that set up a staging point for their equipment, so when someone wants a lawn chair, umbrella, or whatever, they have access to their equipment without having to go back to the shop and bring it down. So, and it's in a private, it's in a PUD that brings it down to the beaches over there.
When there's some complaints on that, where did I read about complaints of containers for umbrellas
No,
and such?
you saw it in the local.
Yeah, it was because of how it was labeled. And they took all
It was not labeled, it wasn't painted, it was just a rough box,
Yeah.
which has all been changed. It's been painted and it's got a big logo on
Has there been any expression of desire by the visitors that, gee, and we wish we could rent umbrellas and beach chairs and all that stuff? Or is this just the merchants trying to get a foot in the door there?
yeah, don't most of, there's the emergency would approach.
We do get phone calls in our office when people wanted to know if there's rentals available for beach chairs and umbrellas.
In general, you know, we don't have a great deal of enforcement of anything on the beach. You rarely see anybody enforcing the pet law or anything like that. And so anything that would increase that amount of need is going to go unmet. And so that'd be another concern I would have, anything that would precipitate need for further law enforcement, but unless there's going to be some reallocation of the resources that we have to do more on the beach.
It comes down to, it's basically an entrepreneur who sees a need for it and they want to do it. And you're trying to get clearance to do it. That's all it comes down to. And I don't think we should make it that sticky that, you know, that someone wants to rent out beach chairs on the beach, police their own products. I mean, you can't do anything about the trash. Trash is just, that's self-maintained, and it's been, you know, for the most part, pretty good, for the most part. Now, the trash cans, when they get full on a busy weekend, that's just a problem with town maintenance emptying the trash cans. I mean, that's part of that problem. That just has to do with the amount of people on that beach. And that can be addressed on weekends like the 4th of July. And you've got a huge amount of people there, you just have to increase the trash pickup. I mean, we already do it as a town. I mean, if we're getting calls to the town for this stuff, I mean, it's just another revenue source for, i.e. the business and the town in a goofy way. It's not really big for the town because it's, you know, it's retail tax and how much filters back to us is not much.
I think I'd be interested in understanding the scope of what it is they want to do. That would be the question I have. I
We
mean, do
want
they
to be
want,
able to come to the beach and say, I bring my own chairs, so I'll rent 2 chairs and an umbrella, which is really a good idea.
or what about the ice cream vendor or something like that?
Town
Should
should-
include items too.
Yeah, they're only gonna be on the cement part, not down on the beach. He'll never get his card in there.
Right, and Again, this would be sort of a zoning overlay or language written in that would provide for a clearly defined area, or open up the whole
Well,
open
what's our
space.
status on the food truck stuff down there? Can they do it down there?
On Mason, on
Bay
Bay,
Ave.
yeah, but not on Mason.
What's the difference? It's a commercial street versus a boardwalk versus asphalt. Except for the lawn chairs and the light stuff is up to the beach. It's like running kayaks and
Jet ski.
no, just a whole nother world. Paddleboards.
Halibut.
Just, no one's gonna do jet skis anymore, it's just too costly and insurance.
Is the town liable for any of that? Somebody got killed up in Ocean City or something with an umbrella. Got impaled. Or was it Virginia Beach? Virginia Beach, I'm sorry. Going a windstorm or something. Chances are pretty remote for that happening, but who takes the fault for that?
Again,
They're still arguing about
This wouldn't be the town.
Third party.
Town just living.
But if we permit that, does that,
What's the difference between that and
Well,
somebody brings their own,
They're gonna have insurance as a business. And if they don't, it's suicide.
right, so who checks it out, Larry? You?
no, that's the process to get a business license. I mean, all of that would go through the treasurer's office, the finance office to secure the business license. And the food, anything that's commercially branded food would also have to go through the health department. There are other checks beyond just, what the town would do, but the town obviously has control over the space.
So who in our town would have oversight on that?
I imagine
That they were going to stick to whatever they submitted to us, to.
I imagine it's going to be like any other business license. And I don't know the business license process. I don't do that. So, someone would still have to get a business license to be a vendor, whether they're doing it on commercial property on Mason Avenue, or whether they're doing it on.
Well, we could put the checks and balances with specific requirements for, not workers' comp, but just any of the liabilities that come along with it. I'm gonna have X amount of dollars in liability insurance.
How much space do we have for storage facilities?
Depends on what you're trying to store. I think what the gentleman with the Italian ice was talking about an area of 150 square feet. That food truck, the tiki truck, would probably, if you just look at their platform area, not their benches, but their platform area probably isn't 300 square feet. And then the gentleman last year who was interested in doing the chairs and umbrellas was talking about a storage unit that would basically run along the side of the pier. And I think he was talking about 20 foot long by way of a storage unit. And he was at that point he talked about he would put the signage up and things like that. So there are other zoning issues to consider beyond just having this
Well,
structure on it.
the thing I'd be concerned about is if we decided to go forward with this, we want to make sure we have very clear boundaries about how big this can get, what kind of, and we already discussed, liability issues, safety issues. We got to make sure that these things are secure. We got all kinds of strange weather around here, especially in this heat.
Strange people, too.
Well, whether we can predict, people we can't.
Stupid stuff.
I know. Yep. I'd be most concerned about making sure that we've got, like I said, firm boundaries on what we're looking to make available for whoever asks, so that we don't have to worry about going back and re-justifying to ourselves every time somebody comes up with another request. We've already got this framework in place that says this is the allotted space we decided makes sense for this purpose.
Would that permit the, could we make it renewable, like annually or something? Or do we do that? Or is it like,
No, business license is renewed every year. And again, what the terms of those are and what the performance standards are, I don't know those. I can find out from the treasurer, but that's not the plan for it.
Well, the other thing you're worried about is multiple same entities trying to compete with it.
That's
Right.
Because you almost have to put out, you know, an RFP or something. Something's got to be done because you're going to end up with multiple people wanting to do stuff. There's a limited space there, and we just can't
That is my
have
point, yes.
50 people there.
right. Well, it's like summer's half over now.
Yeah, but this is looking for, next year, the year after that. It's the same thing they're doing with the
Food trucks.
food trucks or even the cable, who gets to put up the tower and all that stuff. There's all sorts of stuff that we've done. As a town, we have nothing, right now, not at the beach, but different entities.
Right,
Got different connections that can put up in the tower, some can, some can't.
right.
Well, I believe we need more specifics on this.
Specific plan one.
The scope of what it is.
Well, we're gonna drive the scope.
Pardon me?
We're gonna be the ones driving the scope of it.
Well, I mean, if we do this, we want to accommodate there must be somebody with some sort of business plan.
No, it's just, you can do the business plan, but we're trying to accommodate the people that come here. Right now, this is what I said, basically, when I was running for council. The problem is, we've got so many people coming here, we can't accommodate them all. And we're looking for other avenues to accommodate them. Because we're on a fine line right now between overpopulated with people and not being able to feed everybody is one problem. That's why I think food trucks are a good short-term idea. In a goofy way, but
No, I'm
look at Portland, Oregon. They're all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, we have to process the lump. It's like, we have this lump of people for a short time.
Correct.
So everybody's going to go.
And it's going to be a seasonal business. There's no way they're going to stay out there in the middle of February during the Easter trying to hawk a chair. It's not going to happen. So these are definitely seasonal businesses to accommodate the needs of the people that are coming here. If we don't do something, the problem is it's going to be a bad taste in their mouths and they're not going to want to come back. And it's going to kill the tourism as one thing, which is driving a lot of the economic stuff here, but not all of it.
Yeah, I think food trucks are a good idea. I mean, they're not, that's something we have to control much. That's the state of Virginia, isn't it? Larry?
Yeah, health department
Health
controls.
department,
But it's the same thing, it's the same thing if you have a vendor out there. The health department's responsible.
Right.
We're just giving them the space.
For umbrellas, the health department as well.
No, you just have to get
Food vendors.
the needs of people wanting the extraordinary product, i.e. chairs, umbrellas, to protect themselves because they forgot to bring them on vacation. Where either they're sold out at Watson's or they don't have enough food on it. Dollar General are gonna have something that's gonna snap in half, so they have an opportunity at least to rent something. So there's, we have a very limited resource here. We always have that. But it's just giving us an opportunity to go out and make some money renting something. That's all.
I think it's a good idea.
But we just have to be careful. We just can't have 10 people that are trying to do it because it'd be a circus.
Well,
who's gonna
can't we
control
limit the licenses?
Well, the food trucks were restricted to what, 3 up there? Was it 3 or 2?
No, it's as many as can get a license, but you don't have to meet the distance requirements. It's not easy to, if you look at the vending from a vehicle ordinance, it's not spatially, it's not all that easy to vend anything from, on Bay Avenue.
It's not cheap either.
And nobody's gonna reserve a space. So as a result, you get there 10 minutes after people showed up, private citizens have showed up to the beach, we got nowhere to park anymore, because you can't be on Mason, you can't be on Washington and not seeing people, or you can be on Bay. So the footprint for the food trucks, as an example, is tight anyway. You get a day when you get a lot of people at the beach, now where are the people with dicks going to the beach gonna park? So there's a lot of issues that go along with the food truck. I had 8 different entities approach me with the food trucks in the spring. The only ones that materialized were the tiki truck. And they're not even on the beach. They can be because they're mobile, but they got that option to get on Mason Avenue, so that's where they are. So out of 8 who initially approached the town, 1 materialized. And I can't tell you why those people decided not to come. Anybody with a generator also has to, which was a problem last year. The problem last year wasn't the failure of the food truck as a food truck. The problem of it was the noise because of that generator. And that has to be taken into consideration as well. That's a residential street across the way. People are entitled to peace and quiet in New York. So anybody who's got a generator also faces that issue. These folks, the chairs and umbrella folks, the tiki truck, and the shaved ice guy, none of them are motorized. So they've at least got that. My understanding is, and I've been approached by somebody else, well, how about if we cook it at our restaurant and bring it to the beach?
Health department.
Well, but that's for the health department. You know, I still have no standing to tell them that they can be on the beach.
Right.
They still can't be.
Right.
Can somebody deliver to the beach? Of course they can. You can deliver slices of pizza to the beach. But can you have the pizza oven at the beach? And right now the answer is no.
So they have to, that's the purview of VDOT, right?
Well,
But the town can sell permits for people to be on that road.
we can't sell permits to them. What we can do is tell them what the ordinance allows for by way of location. So it can't be within 50 feet of an intersection. It can't be on the street for more than 20 minutes unless it's 50 feet from the intersection, 150 feet from a brick and mortar establishment. That's what basically takes Mason Avenue out. And it can't be on a street in a business district. So you can put a food truck on a street in a residential district. It seems counterintuitive, but that's what we got. So as long as those requirements are met, they're fine. And again, have to get a business license from the town and health department clearance to be able to do that. And that's where we give you the right to have your food truck or food trailer.
I don't know if you guys remember the discussion we had about parking last year. Remember the parking was a problem up there? Some town people came into it with a problem up there. I don't know what they were looking at, but there's plenty of problems with parking because there is no parking. So imagine putting 3 food trucks up there. That's just that much more or less part of the least amount of parking we're gonna have up there, which means it goes back on the side streets, back towards residential. Which is starting to become an issue.
That noise,
It's all on the side.
the noise issue is significant. I mean, that's, high-priced territory down there. I think those people expect a little piece of quiet, even though they are 12 feet. And if they're zoned residential.
You can put restrictions on the generator noise, and we get a quiet generator. People just don't do it because it's cheap. You don't have traffic on the road.
But some of that low frequency noise is impossible to deal with. I mean, you're going to hear it.
Other than for the last 10 years, you don't hear that much. You really don't.
Where did you?
On the harbor, right behind the Walker's house. And then the other right on the beach. It's not as loud as you think it is. You got all sorts of baby noise and all sorts of other stuff.
But I mean, who did you hear with the generator then?
Now, last year, they had some crappy little trucks down there, crappy generators that were loud. You might think they put the library in there. They're just old generators.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. Special event type thing, parades, and stuff like that.
So we're here to decide.
You put restrictions on those to an extent because there is no ordinance that's already in place.
So what is it we want to do here? What are we trying to accomplish?
We have the town trying to draft up something that, we have to amend the ordinance, right?
Correct.
So we can have to draft up that limited space that we're talking about, and then
Define.
Or find, probably the easiest thing is just kind of find like communities, so like Colonial Beach or wherever,
Right.
that have something, if they even have anything in place. It might make it easier to help us out, just to understand it, and what works, what doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be Virginia. So we think up in Maryland,
I don't know if on the beaches.
well, it's there, it's on the bay. But there's other places up in, you got Oxford and all that kind of stuff, St. Michael's, all that area. Yeah, kind of waterfront areas, if they have any kind of ordinances or regulations.
Yeah, the only thing that we have to be careful of is where they have a much more robust enforcement mechanism than we will ever have.
Right now.
Yeah, yeah. But for the other reasons you mentioned, it makes good
Just
sense.
to look at it, see if there's anything.
Yeah, there you might give us some ideas.
And you get South Carolina, you get all sorts of different places. Just something to look at, just to see if anybody else is doing it, and how many people.
And also kind of put the boundaries, or put the description of what area we're talking about, so we understand what we're dealing with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, very much. Well, I figured out a way to mitigate multiple requesters for the same thing.
That can be done by a restricted time period for people to pursue the license to be there. And the license period opens until, if you miss the application period, you miss the application period.
First come, first served.
Because otherwise, if we start talking about getting a low-cost provider, then that's additional overhead on top of the part of the town.
Better off doing first come, first served.
Yeah, I would think that would make more sense. Any other questions or issues on this? Okay. We've been back in the session. Thank you. New business, application for zoning map amendment, tax parcel 8383-11-2 from Market District to Industrial M2 District.
Mr. Chairman, you've got the application. The applicants are here. If you have any questions or really under requirement of applicant to set a public hearing date pursuant to the town ordinance relevant on the having received an application and being directed from the town council to review the application. But the application materials are all here, as well as a map showing the location and some preliminary drawings of the future use of that property. As the applicant has put in their letter as well, their intent is, if this is rezoned to industrial M2, to come back for conditional use. That's on page 2 of the letter for the uses that they have in mind. M2 is written rather interestingly. Many of the permitted uses are not industrial, but they're rather museum, art gallery, adult and child daycare center, municipal building, and the industrial uses are by way of conditional use, including functioning court.
I would just like to say, the information presented looked very encouraging and positive and all, but Larry, you as a town planner, I mean, looking into this, are there any pitfalls or things that could jump up and bite us that is not in this package or anything that was omitted or anything like that?
I don't think there's anything that's omitted. I think it's still, with much of the Harbor District, it's still a aspirational district. The Harbor District wasn't put in yesterday. It was put in a number of years ago. And what's actually materialized by way of development hasn't been perhaps what the expectations were of the Harbor District when it was laid out. This particular parcel, Mason Avenue there's been some success, but this particular parcel, again, has an industrial district to the south and a functioning concrete plant to the immediate west.
At one time was industrial.
Correct. So the expectation, this is the lot that was the old Botel proposal.
I mean, it's a persuasive argument as presented here.
Are there other parcels that adjoin that, that would be considered having a problem with what they're asking for?
And it's, to the extent that they're vacant now, likely not.
Okay.
But I think it's a really good point, and I think it's a really good point about, you know, this particular parcel as a transition into the sort of nicer developments that we're thinking about with the Harbor District.
Okay.
Perhaps lot 20, which would be a more Harbor District friendly type development. I don't think anybody's talking about industrial going all the way over to, you know, the Coast Guard Station. But from the Coast Guard Station, sort of crescent working south and west, you'd start to see a progression from harbor area, nicer type development into a transition into the heavy industry, into the concrete plant.
Okay.
Because the concrete plant as a neighbor with no transition zone,
Right.
I think works against the practical development expectations of that lot for Harbor District stuff.
And what's the strip park and property next to that?
Just south of it is general business light industrial. Just pulling near the property, just.
It's general business and what?
Light industrial.
You can only take a small corner and put it back to what it was.
Yeah.
And then, again, just from a land use perspective, you know, my professor would be happy that, I'm saying, you know, we're looking at land uses and transportation uses.
Right.
That industrial, the new 642 is being brought up for industrial purposes for a reason.
Right.
And that property runs right to the corner of this lot.
On that fourth, I mean, I read through this, it's great, very appealing, but I have, on that fourth bullet point with number 10, port facilities, marine, rail, trucking, intermodal terminals, including transfer, storage, handling, inspection, processing of transport, containerized bulk or other cargo. Do we know what that limitations are on cargo, or what it is that we're going to be allowed to store? In other words, the concrete plant has like sand and gravel and all this, so there's not bringing any real bad actors in. So are we going to look at that to see what is going to be allowed on that property?
I have to scrutinize the ordinance a little bit more, because containerized cargo can mean a lot of things.
Right.
The one thing I would be concerned about is making sure that we don't, without our eyes wide open, allow for hazardous materials.
Yeah, that's my point.
Well, you still gotta deal with all the other environmental.
I mean, what brings,
Absolutely. The point is, you know, you can, those containers can be used for a bunch of different things. Hazmat is one of them. We want to make sure we don't bring any hazardous materials into that area that aren't indigenous to the activities going on in that area. I mean, there's going to be some stuff there already, but not.
Yeah,
we don't need those sort of problems.
yeah, from Marina, they bring in diesel and gasoline.
Oh, yeah,
Stuff
exactly,
like that.
right.
But if you're going to have some sort of maintenance in there, there's some.
Yes, right.
Could we get that defined, I guess, or?
And maybe that's what we do, is we just constrain it to what's already allowed, and then leave that as the boundary in terms of hazardous materials.
Fair.
Yeah.
And I'll check in specifically about cargo, if we've got a working definition of containerized cargo or bulk cargo anywhere.
Right.
And then the other thing is that is by way of a conditional use as well. So.
And the one other thing to be careful of is, there was some discussion some time ago about the possibility of Wallops using, this is an intermodal point for their materials. We want to make sure that we're not shooting ourselves in the foot and get too constricted, so that no longer is an option for us.
And I guess another thing, I don't know how we handle this, but when we issue these conditional uses, they go with the property.
Correct.
So is there some way to investigate or check or somehow otherwise find out that By granting this conditional uses, it may increase the value of the property substantially. So, if these people want the conditional use to build this, or just to get the conditional use to increase the value of the property?
I think that's irrelevant, because the fact that that's what they're doing, they're still gonna, whoever's gonna run it, is gonna have the same conditional use permits. What's the difference? I mean, what's the difference? What's the difference if party A comes in, sets it up, gets it all ready, and then turns around and sells it to party B? And they're gonna apply for the same permit, what's the difference? It still falls under the same, what's the difference? Doesn't make any difference.
Well, because I guess we like to deal with the original people that are talking
Yeah, but they're
about
still gonna
development.
fall under the same, they're still gonna fall under the same regulations or the conditional use permit as the first one. I mean, it is what is set in the conditional use permit. I'm not seeing them bring in other stuff. I mean, if you got a limited conditional use permit for containers to bring in grease, oil, whatever to take care of boat maintenance, or abrasive material to do something to clean off a propeller or a rudder that's off the beaten path away from the water. I mean, they're gonna have to follow a lot of EPA laws too.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's not what I'm, yeah, that's all. We just want to define what it is that they want to use. Goes along with that business.
Yeah, but if
Just
they turn
can't
around and
wide
sell it,
open.
but if they turn around and sell it to party B, it's irrelevant, because it's gonna be the same thing, because they can't go outside the conditional use permit.
But somebody's still going to have to supply the information as to what is going to take place. What's going to be on that property.
They're gonna have to follow this.
Mr. Chairman, I don't need to interrupt, and I recognize it's not a public hearing, but would like a few moments, if I could, just make some comments, and open up some of the questions if you have any. It's one reason we all
Sorry.
came tonight. Mr. Chairman, of the Planning Commission, my name is Bert Turner, I'm the term local attorney representing Cherry Stone One LLC. And I with me here, Baldwin and Dan Ryan with that entity, and Jim Gunn and Neville Reynolds. Jim Gunn is an involved party with this whole operation. Neville Reynolds is the engineer and planner that submitted the letter to the town office. Again, I can be very brief. We have a couple things we're thinking about. I mean, Cherry Stone wants a contract purchase for a whole property, and these gentlemen can speak to some of their uses. And I think they are really the parties that want to use these things for the things they're proposing to you. The contract is conditioned upon getting the rezoning and the conditional uses, and sort of one thing doesn't mean a whole lot with the other. I realize we've got sort of procedural issue here that we have to have the property rezoned in order to ask for the conditional uses that are in desire. So if there's any way, I know the town manager's office has already been very accommodating and leading us to what we need to do. But we're hoping these things can be done as much as they can be in tandem, whether the hearing can be held at the same time, or whether we can, we're looking at a window that we got contingency in the contract for so many days. If we have to go through two processes, that's getting us close to the end of our time.
We have no interest in giving you a hard time, sir.
I understand, been very helpful so far, and that's why we're here tonight, is basically answering questions that you might have that we can in advance of the public hearing. So any questions you have for me, or Baldwin, Mr. Ryan, Mr. Reynolds?
So what, just some of the stuff we've been discussing right here now, in terms of what's going to be brought in and what's going to be stored and all that.
This is where I pass the buck to the other people sitting around the table here. I don't know if they can, if you, Mr. Gunn, or Mr. Baldwin, or Mr. Bryan, might want to speak to.
I think at the moment, what's contemplated is offloading seafood at the dock, and probably some bulk material, sand, gravel, rock, that sort of thing for construction.
And grading.
And what?
Grading.
Local commodity.
Local farmers working hard to export grain.
So the list of items that are in the request letter are right from your regulations. And, you know, right now, when you build a terminal or port facility, you don't know what opportunities are going to come up in the future. You want to be able to accommodate any material really that you have the facilities to offload or to load at that terminal facility. So I don't, certainly hazardous materials aren't contemplated to come through here. That's not the intent of this. It's more of I think, a traditional port terminal facility.
I think one thing they want to add, I think planner from Marshall right on target, but it's been sort of a transitional area. You've got Bayshore Concrete and Sideport, which Brian are involved with. Just from the time, also 1920, they would also pick up the other parcels adjacent to that. Well, Sideport owns the 80 acre formerly industrial park, so we kind of do see that as a transitional area from concrete plant on the western end to boating facility that's there today on parcels 12 and 10, I think. So there's having a port facility, they already have a travel left full boats, sort of expand that operation, have the ability to do that there, and also to be able to use that site to load and offload. We have rail coming right into the site, it'd be helpful to be able to get bulk material as well as grain for offload. The facility had been used for grain facility for 20 some years ago, I guess, in buildings, used to store ship grain, lot of water.
Who knows, maybe rocket parts too.
Yeah, it could be.
Certainly something we talked about.
But, you know, we got to lay the infrastructure before we get that far.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Could it be fertilizer? I mean, how can we protect ourselves from that?
I doubt fertilizer. Yeah, that would be a tough permit to get bulk across that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the runoff and the handling of that material would be dealt with through other regulations.
Like the EPA or something?
It's Fish and Wildlife, it's Chesapeake Bay Act, yeah.
I understand the concern about fertilizer opens up a lot of different permitting requirements anyway, and not heard that as intended use.
Probably want to put that in the material you put together. Make sure that's explicitly stated, just to, yeah. Any other questions, sir?
For me,
It's a two-step process. Step one is that we're supposed to, we'll basically say, it makes good sense to change it from Harbor District to M2 for any number of reasons, and then if we did that, then there a specific reason would be immediately rushing in with a lot of detailed information about that use, about which there'd be a lot of back and forth given on that specific, would be the conditional use.
What we'd like to do is submit as much and answer any questions that the planning office has about that in advance, so that when you consider the rezoning, you're also hearing from us and seeing exactly what we want to do and what conditional uses we're asking.
So is the intent to, yeah, okay.
Right?
You make that
What's the, yeah, how many days do we have to have in advance?
We have to advertise twice because it's a zoning issue, and I don't have a calendar in front of me,
So we
but,
couldn't make it for our next meeting.
possibly. Is there, you have to do 20 days for your,
August 2nd.
or,
Yeah.
oh yeah, because this is 18, no.
Right.
Not unless we do.
We could probably do it,
Unless we get
maybe the week of the town council
Unless we do
meeting,
it
so
joint.
we don't have to hold things up.
On the third week,
Yeah.
do a joint council, planning commission, on town council.
Does that meet your needs?
On
The third Monday of September for a decision on the
August.
August.
Sorry, August, right.
I know the mantra is as soon as we can, so if that's going to be done, we'll make that work.
If we do it at the same time, the planning, town council meeting.
Right, that would be pushing it, giving you an
We
extra
need
week.
to do it prior to the town council meeting, because then the planning commission, after a joint public hearing hopefully, can hold a special meeting to discuss it, to decide on the recommendation to the town council for their meeting on the 18th of
Then
August.
we can always shift next meeting to the,
So we could do it the third Monday that we normally have.
Oh,
bypass it for Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Like we just did this month.
it's a Monday,
It's a
it's the
Monday.
third Monday.
We always
Third
do.
Monday, sorry, third Monday.
Third Monday,
Third
right,
Monday.
right.
That could work.
I think we have to get a special meeting, that's not a problem.
I don't think so, yeah.
I think we want to accommodate these kinds
It's
of.
your choice whether you want to meet once or twice next month. That's all.
Twice is okay, I think that's a pretty big deal, so
Yeah, right.
I think extra third time is.
It's $12.50 apiece.
By the way, that's $12.50 a piece he's talking about. Yes, yes, yes,
It's 2 lunches.
yes. Thereabouts, yes.
I think we should do that to help them with this month.
So you're going to set that up as soon as possible?
Yeah, so August 15th,
That's a Monday, right?
Okay,
try for joint.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That'll save some more time.
Yeah.
Because theoretically, they could vote on it Thursday.
Right.
Very good.
We can.
After they have the public hearing, couldn't they vote
Thanks.
on the same day?
We vote to send it up to the town council.
But if we have a joint.
But the hearing is joint, not,
Oh, for the public hearing.
Yeah,
Right.
we vote on it that day. to send it
they will
up to
vote
the
on it the
town
following Thursday of the same week.
council. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But just technically, if they were here after the public hearing, and we voted on it, couldn't they then, if they were still here?
If they had a meeting.
You would have to, yeah, they would have to stand around for
Oh, God,
you
that-
all to meet.
We couldn't have that happen.
I mean,
No, I'm okay, okay, that's the problem.
Well, we saw some.
difficult to,
Sorry?
It was difficult to hear that.
Any announcements, Libby?
well, we need a motion and a second
Oh, sorry.
to do this. We
I
haven't
make
done
a
that
motion.
yet.
We scheduled it to public hearing.
I'll second in there. Just wait on the agenda.
Then does it get mentioned?
What do you say?
Anybody?
Yes, we just made
Oh,
No,
good.
we vote. We got a motion and a second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. No, it's not on the agenda, it doesn't get discussed.
FYI, that's just the half-year report.
Oh, okay,
Of
okay.
the planning department and planning.
Okay, so can we add that to next month's?
Yeah, I think it's talked about.
Okay, good. Okay, now, any announcements? Madam Clerk?
That's a motion.
Hang on. Libby, do we have any announcements? Okay, right. Go ahead. So,
Motion on the floor.
yep.
I second it.
All in favor? Any opposed?